Welcome back into Duff and Friends. I am your host, Duff Tyler. Joining us, as he did last week, is Brian Boyce from Brazil. Now, the last time we talked, Brian, you were getting ready for a bodybuilding competition, and now we're talking to you as a bodybuilding champ. Congratulations.
Hey, thank you. Thank you very much.
Now, is this your first ever championship?
Yeah, actually, this is the first place I've won.
And what was going through your mind when you won?
Oh, I felt like I had a really good chance. Earlier in the day, I saw, my competition, and felt like I was going to do pretty well. So I was extremely happy, and of course I've got another one.
What do you think won your favor to win?
Oh, probably muscle definition. I was down to probably a little under 5%, about 4% body fat, and I was still a lot thicker than the other guys. Way interesting, there was one of the people that was on in one of the categories was probably in his early 50s, and another was 19. So we had a pretty good range there of people in ages and conditioning and whatnot.
How much work did you have to put in to win this thing?
Oh, that's well, in addition to, of course, I've been lifting ever since I was in high school, but I started my diet plan back in the end of November, unofficially. I started just tapering off some stuff. And then December 15th, I weighed in at 197 and my coach gave me my first round of diet planning. And then, so I was December 15th. And then, of course, March 9th, I weighed in at 165 and still lifting everything the same. So it's about a little over 30 pounds since December that I cut in water and body fat.
So that's 30 pounds lost. I'm sure a lot of people would love to know just what kind of diet you were on there.
Oh, it's very specific, and it's tailored to the individual. So, and of course, with a coach, you pay them for this. But what they do is we start off with measurements, top to bottom, and get everything from your body fat percentage, your lean muscle mass, get all your numbers. Then start working it down. But my goals change. It's a lot more involved. It drives my family nuts. Especially people who are on, say, a fad diet like Weight Watchers or Mediterranean diet, because it's just nothing like that. Just to give you an example, I was already planning things out for tomorrow. Tomorrow, I'm going to have 226 grams of protein, 199 grams of carbohydrates, and 33 grams total of fat. Now, how I break that down, you use a device, what was like CalorieKing.com, which is one of many websites. They've got apps on the iPhone for it. There's a lot of different places where you can find the nutritional analysis of every food. Like I'll have 50 grams of oatmeal tomorrow morning, and that'll be 6.6 grams of protein, 33.8 grams of carbohydrates, 3.3 grams of fat, 5.1 of fiber, and 0.5 of sugar. Then I'll have 2 scoops of whey protein with that, 9 grams of honey, and 1 tablespoon of olive oil. And that'd be breakfast. So it's detailed to the letter. But then there's some days where I only have 55 grams of carbohydrates. So it changes every day.
Now, what would you say your daily routine is like outside of the diet plan and going to the gym?
Well, I'm a freelance writer, and of course I just got done sending some letters. Actually, I've got a copy of Writer's Digest right here by the computer. And I was sending some clips off to some publications. And we're getting ready to break ground. I also own a 200-acre farm outside of Clay City, and my dad has a 60-acre farm. I manage it for him over here near Center Point. Then I've got some rental property, so I stay pretty busy throughout the day doing something somewhere.
How much sleep do you try to get every day? How does that factor into it?
Well, sleep is very important, and it's something that you really can't short yourself on. The last night, I think I went to bed about 10:30, and I watched the first part of the news. I went to bed. Then this morning I got up at 6, so 7.5 hours. I usually get 7 hours, or at least 6 or 7 hours, something like that.
Now, what did you do for a reward for yourself? I understand that once you're done with these competitions, you look for the nearest buffet.
Oh, I do. I had actually scouted out a CC's Pizza. They have a March special all month, which is a $5 buffet, pizza buffet. So we were actually kind of talking about that, the people who were competing, about all the different buffets that were in town. The event was in Evansville, Indiana, and I wasn't very familiar with Evansville. They were, and they said, "Oh, there's this Chinese buffet over here," and there was a lot of different places. And when I found out there was a pizza buffet, I thought that's me. That's what I'm hitting. So I went over there and just tore into it. Of course, many plates full, just loaded full of pizza.
I'm thinking of that line from the movie Animal House, just keep your hands and feet away from his mouth.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly how it went. Just there was no holding back.
Now, of course, that buffet eating, that's short-lived because I understand you have another competition similar to this one coming up soon.
Yeah, in April 13th. So I'll be up in Indianapolis for that one. So yeah, it's back. I have a little bit of time, obviously, because this was the first competition of the season, and so it's a lot easier to stay lean than it is to get lean. And I was scheduled to do a contest last September, but something came up with work and I couldn't go. So I took from basically September, October, and November. I had about 3 months into the off season where I was not dieting and I was eating just whatever I wanted. And 197 pounds was pretty good. That's pretty normal weight. That's what I got up to. And then just wanted to cut back down for competition.
You mentioned that you got a competition coming up in April, and of course that's when spring and the temperatures start to really warm up. And I know there's a lot of people that are probably really looking to get forward to moving on with some fitness activities, especially outdoors. What are some good outdoor activities that you can recommend people to take part in to get into shape?
Well, the classic outdoor activity, of course, is walking. And the more you walk, walking is a great exercise. You're obviously not going to burn as many calories walking as you do sprinting, running, or doing some other things. But it's important to remember the value, frankly, of just getting up and moving. Keeps you limber, keeps you stretched. And walking is also free. You can go to any park. My guess is any park in any city, and find a place to just walk for about an hour or so. So walking's good. Jogging, I like to run myself. So running's obviously a big one. Biking. Then it depends on what your family status is. If you have kids, I think there's probably a lot more activities for you to do in conjunction with your kids. To go out and exercise, at the park, play ball, just have fun.
Of course, you and I are both native Hoosiers, and one of the things that you always see outside during this time of year is kids playing basketball. I've heard that's a great way to burn some calories.
Oh, sure. But, basketball, again, you're running. You're going to be running up and down that court, even jogging up and down the court. Depends on how fast you are, but basketball is a great exercise.
For anyone who's listening right now and they're looking to maybe get into fitness, they're looking to start some sort of weight loss goal for themselves and they're trying to exercise and work out, what advice do you have for those people who are just starting out?
Well, first of all, don't be intimidated and don't get concerned. I've talked to a lot of friends and even family members who have kind of hesitated in going back to working out because they can't, say, bench press 300 pounds like they did in high school. Forget that. Or there's a lot of women that are afraid of taking a Zumba class or one of the aerobics classes like spin, or any of those programs they have. They're afraid because they don't feel like they're going to look good enough. They expect to be able to walk in there looking like a fitness model. And the reality is, at most of these gyms, there's a huge diversity of fitness levels, people, and interests, and so it's very unlikely that you're going to get in there and make a fool of yourself. It's just not likely at all. Most of the gyms have a pretty upbeat, positive atmosphere, and they're there to, help people get into shape. So there's always going to be some people who look really good right off the bat, but that can be pretty short order if you get in there and work out.
How beneficial would it be for someone to go into a gym and see someone like that and create a buddy system with them?
Oh yeah, it helps if you have a workout partner. In fact, that's one of the things that most places really strongly recommend. I've never been much into lifting with other people because just my schedule is so weird that I can't guarantee that I'll always be there on the same days. But over the years, I've become really good friends with everybody in the gym. And so it's a lot like Cheers in the sense that, everybody knows your name and you have it's an extended group. It's a social network of people with whom you're working out. And so there'll always be somebody there to kind of buddy up with or to spot you, to help you answer questions or something.
With all the work and the shape that you're in right now, I could kind of see you as the norm of your gym right now.
Yeah, I've always been, I kind of have that norm approach for better or for worse. And I did when I was younger too, in different places. Because I tend to go, I used to work at a newspaper, and the hours there are so strange at newspapers, radio stations, television stations, whatnot, that, if you're going to the same gym every day, you may go there 9 o'clock in the morning today, 2 o'clock in the afternoon tomorrow, and 7 o'clock the third day. So after a year or so of doing that, you'll have hit all the crowds. You'll know pretty much everybody there because you've been there at all these different times.
Well, I tell you what, Brian, the last time you were on the show, you won the competition. I'm hoping this one will bring you the same kind of luck.
So do I. Absolutely.
Well, we wish you all the best. Thanks for dropping by the Friend Zone today, my friend.